Hello and welcome to today's video on high altitude investing. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how I trade Stratis. So first I wanted to mention that I've put a couple extra things here on the first little part of the video here. I have my Twitter right here and Marshall's Twitter right here, as well as my website right here, and special little pay attention to that arrow to point out my typo when I made the domain. It's kind of a funny story. This is my email, and then of course we've got the Bitcoin tip jar right there. So I just wanted to point that out real quickly, just so that you guys can get a hold of me easier and I don't have to plug those in on every single video. Now, so today I'm going to be talking about Stratis, what I think is going to happen, and so let's just get right into it here. First of all, I'd like to mention that I was talking about it catching leverage right here and going up, but it actually came down a little bit further than that. This is kind of to be expected in new markets because there's a lot of indecision in this coin right now. A lot of people don't know where it's going, whether it's going to actually run up or not. But this to me looks like a really great uptrend. There's nothing in this coin that's telling me that it's done uptrending in value. Here, at least not yet for sure. Here is what it looks like with one-day candlesticks. As you can see, there's not a lot of time. There's not a lot of history in this coin. Something you really want to do with these newer coins when they're added is make sure that you don't have it on the last, like the most recent time bar, because it'll just throw it all out of scope and you can't even see what's actually going on in the coin. So I like to have a little bit more room than that. Now, this is a good bottom formation right here with a really nice buy-in wick right there, and that's what really drove this run initially. It did break below this 38% level that is really important on uptrends, but breakouts, this could be a big breakout, which is what I'm expecting it to be because it's had consistent volume in the past little while. Breakouts a lot of times come and test this 23% level too. And then I would see it go up and hit a new high. I don't know exactly what that high would be. I would guess somewhere around the 0.0001 range in Bitcoin and up, like 0.001 range, somewhere around there. Now, if it does hit that level, that will be pretty impressive. Here, let me show you what its market capitalization is at right now. Stratis. So there's 98 million Stratis. So I actually don't expect it to go quite that high. Maybe the 0.0005 range, but I do think that it has potential to go up much higher than what people are thinking it's going to do. It's worth about 8 cents right now, which is pretty good. And with a $8 million market cap, it's doing really well as a currency. Oh shoot, fail. Or as a investment. Now, 9 cents is a pretty cheap place to be buying in. It's just 8,000 Satoshi, a little bit more than 8,000 Satoshi. It's really nice when Bitcoin's around $1,000 because it's super easy to calculate all of the fractions and stuff like that, but that's besides the point. So I expect this coin here. Let me actually just pull up my Paint software. Control Shift. Okay. Let me just pull up my Paint software so I can visualize for you guys here what's going on. All right. So I've seen this move in markets happen many times before, and it's nothing crazy. There's nothing special about it. Usually this is what happens when I see this type of a move in the market. Usually you'll see a small little pump up here in between. Oops. You'll see like a small little pump up here in between this 38% range here and this 23% range. So a lot of times the coin will pump up kind of hard like that. and then break down and break down again, and usually come test this 23% in a healthy breakout. So I usually see a little pump up and dump like that. You know, most of this is wicking right here. See these wicks up, these black wicks. So I could actually just make that a black wick to be more accurate as to what would happen right there. So just ignore the red and the green there. See, this is the wicking. So you'll see a hard wick up like that, and then it come test that level. And that's actually exactly what happened over here too. Is, let me pull up my circle square. You have this huge wicking up right there. And what brought it down the first time is this huge wicking up right here too. So those are areas in the market where it's dropping off due to the wicking. And you can see right here, this wick right here is actually what drove the market up in the first place. And same with this wick here. These are people getting into the market because they see that a lot of people are interested in it. All these, those wicks are showing people trying to get into the market right there. Now, you can actually count wicks. This is a method used by some traders. If you decide that you want to count the wicks, you say, you know, here's about the size of wick that I'm looking for. You know, maybe a couple inches or a couple pixels, however you want to determine it. You can use like a little object on your screen if you'd like. But if you determine about how far these wicks are down and just decide that that's around the time, then you can count the wicks. And this is something that people use a lot. They'll count how many top wicks they see. Okay, here's some good top wicking. Here's some top wicking. Here's some top wicking. Some more top wicking. That's pretty good. Some more top wicking. Some more. All of this is top wicking. Some more tops. And here's some good bottoming. The bottoms are a little bit harder to draw just because they usually move a little bit differently. That's also really depends on what coin. So you can just draw out all of these little spots that you see the wicking movement up or down, and then you can go along your coin here and you could say, okay, well, here's one bottom, here's two, I see 3 now, 4, 5, 6. You could literally just count up how many there are and decide which one has more. I don't actually use this trading method. I've seen a lot of people use it and get success though doing that. So personally, what I think is going to happen though, I generally use indicators like fibs. That's my favorite trading signal is Fibonacci. But I expect a pump right here, or at least some healthy market movement, like a hard wick down right here. You know, some things showing that people are getting into the market right now. So you know, if you're short-term trading Stratis, I wouldn't buy in if you're going long. If you're long-term trading Stratis, this is a fine time to be buying, in my opinion. But since I'm going to be talking mainly short-term here, just for day traders and stuff like that, I expect a hard wick down around in this area, and then I would expect some nice healthy market movement. Oops, it's kind of hard to draw these candlesticks. I would expect some nice healthy market movement in the opposite direction after that. You know, obviously markets test support and resistance, so you see little swings like this in the market. But in my opinion, this is a great time to be buying Stratis, and I only see, especially long term, I only see a nice healthy uptrend forming. It just looks good to me. It looks like what a good healthy breakout would look like. Just that standard consistent trending, a little bit of influx in value here. So a little hyperinflation due to the volume and these pumps right here. These are people interested in the market. And so usually what happens when a lot of people are interested in a market is you get a lot of hyperinflation like that. But I personally think that this coin has a lot of potential. A lot of people have been talking to me about it and asking me questions, which is actually a really good sign. And a lot of people have been trading it too. It's been doing pretty consistent volume. I mean, there's obviously other ones that have more volume consistently, but it's been doing pretty well. And this really does look like a nice trend forming, nice trend line forming. Obviously, there's a little bit of resistance. There's resistance in every market, but it's still moving more on the upside, as you can see in this shape that it's making. So I have a lot of faith in what Stratis is going to do in the next little while and think that it's a perfectly good buy. But just remember to look for these support and resistance zones. Take note of them. Look at the wicking. Make sure that you check on buy and sell orders. This is also a pretty important thing. As you can see, there's some pretty big sell walls right here. There's a little bit of a buy wall right here. And you can look at how many total Bitcoin are in the buy and sell orders. Those are also important things to be checking out. Volume. Volume's another thing you really want to be paying attention to. As you can see, these are high volume areas due to this being the peak of this influx in the triangle. And whenever there's high volume areas like this and a steady trend line like this, you usually see an uptrend after that. So this is what I would call a good, healthy market. Perfectly normal moving, nothing crazy. There's no big dumping off or anything. This is just a standard little trend down. It's not like it's crazy sharp. It's not like it's this, you know. If you go look at another coin that's pumping kind of hard right now, which is NSR, or new shares, which is one I've been looking at a little bit, you can see this hard dumping in the market. There's a lot of just straight dumping off in this market. And then after that, usually a bunch of pumping. See, just hard dumps and then pump. And then this is a less of a hard dump. And then just boom, this is a pretty hard dump right there. Hard dump right there, and then some more pumping. So, you know, I don't really like to see that type of dumping off like that in a market. But there was a lot of volatility right here. As you can see, that wick went clear up. So that means there's a lot of money to be made in this time if you knew what you were doing. If you had set your buy and sell orders properly, you can make a lot of money in that type of volatility. So it just really depends on your trading style at the end of the day. But yeah, so that's what I think is going to happen in Stratis. This looks to me like a nice healthy uptrend forming, and I really don't see it breaking below this level right here. To, you know, it might make a little wick down below this 23%, but as far as a horizontal line for me to draw that I don't expect it to break through, right here, I don't expect it to break below that level, which looks like it's just above 6,000 Satoshi. So that's what I'd be looking out for in Stratis. I hope you liked this video. I hope that I helped you get a better idea of what you want to do trading this coin. Thank you for watching, and check out my other videos if you want to learn how to trade Pascal or Ethereum. I have one on Ethereum Classic too. It's a little bit older, but yeah, so those are things that I'm looking for in this market, and I hope that it can help you guys. And as always, stay profitable.